What's up, everybody? My name is Joshua, here with David. We've watched all of Jessica Jones Season 2, and we're going to talk full spoilers, so be warned. And the thing we want to talk about is the villain, or what I consider the lack of a villain, and that's what I really enjoyed. That the antagonist of this season was Jessica's mother, who has her same powers but stronger, but also has control issues, we'll call them. I really liked this and thought it was a different change of pace for these shows, but you feel differently.
When I watch a comic book show, Joshua, I want to see a villain. I usually would say I'm not a big fan of the mustache twirling villain, the moo ha 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 kind of villains, but when I'm watching a comic book show, I actually enjoy that. Like, I enjoy characters like Kingpin, like Cottonmouth. I wanted a Madame Gao or the Hand, that we see in over there in Daredevil. And because I don't know, Jessica's mom, they even teamed up at one point, which is, I love that scene when they team up and save the people from the fire. I love that scene. And I'm like, the Batman doesn't team up with Joker. It's like usually with people when they have their villains, they usually don't team up. So I just didn't like that. I felt like it didn't keep me going with the series. I was like, what's she going up against? Is it just like mom issues, like trying to rebuild her family, which that's a real problem. But as far as a comic book series where the Defenders exist and the Hand, I wanted to see something a little more substantial.
I feel like we do get so many of those villains that are like a physical threat, or do have that mustache twirling attitude and have like an evil plan that they're gonna unleash upon the city, and the hero has to stop them. But my kind of villain, what I really enjoy is when they present a threat you can't punch, right? And she couldn't punch this problem away, or I guess Jessica Jones more like shoves people down really hard. But yeah, she couldn't do that to get over this problem. She had to deal with her mother. And what I really enjoyed about it was that, like Kilgrave was about taking control away from Jessica, right? And now season 2, it was about Jessica afraid of losing control of herself, right? And her mother was a sort of a dark reflection of herself. And she had her same powers, but Jessica was worried that because she killed once, she would kill again. And here's her mother, who's killed tons of people and has like no control. And so I thought that was very interesting to juxtapose against Jessica and essentially make her face herself in her mother, which, again, you can't punch your way out of that. And I just thought that was a really interesting way to go. And then we have all these other shows on Marvel Netflix and elsewhere where they're going to punch the villain, and it's fine. So I thought this is fine of having one season of superhero television where that's not the way out of it.
I think maybe it just didn't need to be as long as it was. I think the 13-episode runtime, even though we're not introduced to her character until episode 6, again, you're getting another 7 episodes after that. I was like, oh, this feels like it's going a little bit long. But I did enjoy, again, when Kilgrave showed up, when David Tennant showed up, for just a little bit that we got him kind of playing this, I don't know, devil's advocate, the angel on one, or I guess in her case, the devil on both shoulders.
Right, yeah.
I just realized how much I missed him, and I missed how he was the main villain in the first season, as opposed to facing her darker self, which is an interesting story. I liked her and her mom together, Jessica and her mom together. I enjoyed those scenes, but it wasn't as impactful as a character like Kilgrave for me.
Well, I love Kilgrave. Kilgrave is an all-time great. I'm sure a lot of people would agree. He's right up there with Kingpin as just, that's how you do a villain, right? And yeah, when he did show up, it was great to have him. But I did feel that this was a different approach to doing a villain. To where I wouldn't even call her a villain, because you might even think the Doctor would be the villain.
He wasn't really the villain.
But he wasn't even, And I that's my kind of villain. That's more my speed, of where everyone has shades of gray, to where really anyone you could point at to being the hero or the villain or something in between. And I think in Jessica Jones' world especially, shades of gray that's the name of the game, right? And she killed someone and turned it into a fake suicide. Yet at the end of the day, we still call her a hero, even though she doesn't like being called a hero. Ultimately, we're still on her side, even though she's done some terrible things, right? Like, people got super mad at Superman for killing Zod in Man of Steel, but she killed Kilgrave, right? But we're still on her side. So I really like when we're asked to question our heroes and to have them put in situations that are really hard to get out of, again, without punching.
Another example too is going back to the Doctor, talking about this villain issue. I had an issue there too, because she just said, oh, you need to pay for your crimes, you need to be in jail. But I'm like, is he a bad guy though? I mean, yeah, he did some experiments, but it seems like he was doing it out of a place of love. He really loved Jessica's mother. I mean, there was a real connection here. I didn't see him as a bad guy. I don't think he was trying to harm Trish at the end. He wasn't mean to kill her or anything. He just
even though he put, like,
miscalculated a few things, but
he put like 40 needles in her back. He wasn't trying to hurt her.
But he wasn't.
help.
I just didn't see him as a bad guy. They ended up sacrificing himself, but he was paying like, you have to go to jail, you have to do this. I was like, I don't know. I guess there wasn't a clear-cut villain, even though they're trying to label certain people as such. And maybe that grayness for me, I had an issue with. I don't always have an issue with it, but in this case, I wanted more of a black and white villain for some reason. I don't know why. It's just when I was watching, I'm like, where's my Kilgrave?
Right. I do agree that this season kind of got off to a slow start and was a bit meandering a little bit. But ultimately, what it settled on in the end was that Jessica was going to have to deal with how to handle her mother, and I did think that was a compelling problem, even though I understand that, it's not what we're used to and it's very different. But I did like how this season tackled things like motherhood and what that means, and responsibility and power and corruption and choice. And I really liked all those themes that were very present and very strong throughout the season. But I think, we're just gonna have to agree to disagree. I really liked it. I'm not saying I'd like this for every season, not saying I don't want Luke Cage to have someone to punch in his season, but I thought this was an unexpected take that I was really digging the more the season explored the idea.
And one final thing, it's going to be interesting to see where season 3 goes, because usually there's a tease or something like we have with Punisher or Daredevil of kind of who the next villain's going to be, who's out there that still needs to be defeated. Jessica Jones is just kind of like she's just having dinner with her new family now, and that's kind of it. There's really not the antagonist, waiting in the dark. We don't know who's going to be next, so that'll be interesting to see.
I think that's fine because I think we always get so excited of what's next and everything,
right.
But I think it's fine just to ruminate because this is a heavy season.
Yeah.
And also Jessica Jones doesn't really have a big rogues gallery that you could excitingly tease, because if they did put in a tease, we probably have no idea who it was anyways. So I think they played it smart. So that's what we thought of the villain in Jessica Jones Season 2. Let us know what you thought in the comments. And if you want more Jessica Jones content, check out our review of the Season 2 premiere. Laura did that. It's really cool. And also, David here did a video on 5 streaming shows that you might have missed from last month. And be sure to follow and subscribe wherever you like to watch IGN.